Especially when we're busy, people get annoyed by waiting too long for shoes. So a good salesman should know where all the stock is. You got to get that shoe on their foot fast. This place gets so wild and gets so busy that really you have to sometimes wait on 4 or 5 people to keep people satisfied. It's one thing we don't want. We don't want people walking out without shoes. Not if I can help it.
Let me try it on.
Try it on. It's a good shoe.
But an athlete can drive himself right into the ground. Larry Jolton knows that. That's why he always takes time for a good lunch. You have to keep up your strength because sometimes the game goes into extra innings.
You get people who just don't know the size. They come in, and there's one fella in particular I remember. He came in and he says, I'd like to have a pair of black shoes. I said, anything particular, sir? He says, just a pair of black shoes. So I says, what size do you wear? Can I measure your foot? No, you can't measure my foot. I wear an 8.5D. So I bring out about 2 or 3 black shoes. I put it on his feet, and he says to me, oh, easy on my toes. My toes are sore. So I says to him, how long your toes been sore? He says to me, I thought he'd say 3 months, maybe 2 months. He says to me, 12 years. So I says to him, when was the last time you had your foot measured? He says, about 14 years ago. I said, please, let me measure your foot. So he starts yelling at me. He says, listen, Sonny, nobody's going to measure my feet. I'm wearing 8.5D. I said, sir, I tried on 3 pairs of shoes already. They're all tight on you, and they all hurt your toes. Let me measure your foot. See, there's time in the shoe business. A good salesman, if you think you're a good salesman or you try to be a good salesman, you got to take charge. I mean, you can be the nice guy and you can be funny, but you got to take charge. And you got to say, listen, you want to get a correct fit? Let me measure your foot. So he's finally agreed to it, and I measure his foot, and believe it or not, the man wore a 10B. 3 sizes too small. I didn't tell him what size he wore because I knew he'd never let me come out with the shoe. So I just went back to the stockroom. I walked out with a black 10B, and he puts on a shoe. He gets up and goes like this. He goes, what did you do to the shoe? My toes don't hurt anymore.
This is Larry Jolton's motto. If the shoe fits, sell it.
Don't buy by size, buy by the fit. I wouldn't go any bigger than that. You got a very narrow foot. I came on a sale day today. 20% off, so he came at the right time. Busy place.
And when the day is done, there are the great moments, the shutouts, to look back on.
Have a nice weekend. Take it easy. Have fun at the party. I had about 2-3 days this year. I did between 5,000 and 6,000 in one day. It was just booming here.
Did he sell me a pair of shoes? Well, I was a little short of cash. So he took a credit card.
This was a mistake.
What was?
It started at $1. And I didn't stop.